You are watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Back to Las Vegas, back to the quarterfinals. And Boise State and Nevada in a huge game. The Broncos, a bubble team, and a 4 seed, and Nevada beat them twice already this year. Here we go on quarterfinal day, an escape by San Diego State, and later tonight, 2 more bubble teams. 2 more teams that absolutely need to win to stamp a ticket. Utah State and Colorado State. Hi everybody, I'm Rich Waltz along with former Gonzaga All-American Dan Dickow. 3 games in a row now, 3 teams absolutely need to win, especially Boise State, because they haven't finished on an up note.
You're exactly right. 3 bubble teams are playing in the quarterfinals in the next 3 games, and with Boise State, they got off to such a tremendous non-conference start that kind of blended into Mountain West play, but they have struggled as of late. They've lost their last 3. I still think they're in the NCAA tournament, but they have to prove it, and that starts today.
And the guy that got them off to that fast start and has struggled lately is Derek Alston Jr.
One of the best scorers in the Mountain West Conference. He's a long, lanky 6'8" wing who can score in so many different ways. He can put the ball on the deck, get to the rim, he can score in the mid-range, he can score it beyond the 3-point line. He does a nice job of getting himself to the free throw line. He must play well. One
of the big questions, would Abu Kigab play? The answer, no. Hurt his shoulder last regular season game. He is out. They will miss his scoring, his defense, his versatility. Now to Nevada. Nevada beat Boise State twice, and that's a real factor here. They're a fun team to watch. Steve Alford was a great guard, everybody knows that, but he has 2 terrific ones himself. Grant Sherfield and Desmond Cambridge, they're terrific.
Nevada had Boise's number in Reno, and a lot of it had to do with the play of this young man right here. Grant Sherfield was dynamic in that series. 29 points, 8 assists in one of those games. The other, not too bad either. 20 points, 14 assists, including the game winner with about 3 seconds left. He is a player that plays with extreme confidence. If the game is tight, the ball will be in his hands. His running mate, Desmond Cambridge, one of the best shooters in the Mountain West Conference. You give him a little bit of space, he's gonna raise up, and more times than not, he's gonna knock it down.
Big quarterfinal here. Nevada, one of the hottest in the Mountain West. They take aim in a must-win situation. Boise State. They met twice in late January. It came down to the wire in this one. Ray J. Dennis to tie late. Grant Sherfield, game winner, one of 3 this year for this guy. That was the first game. Second game, Cambridge got loose, and you can't leave him open. Sherfield and Cambridge dominated in that game. And Steve Alford and his running mate there, Craig Neal, have a team that is explosive and everybody knows is dangerous going into this tournament. And Alford has won this tournament as the head coach at New Mexico. Heck, Craig Neal won one as well as the head coach at New Mexico. Kubota brings you the starting lineups. First for Nevada, we told you about Sherfield and Cambridge. Warren Washington is a big to watch. Now, if you look, you've got no Kigab, so Emmanuel Acott gets a start along with Debonair Dutrieve. Mladen Armish is a good big. Leon Rice trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. The last time he was there was that 2015 season. This is going to be a fun game. I mean, both these teams are athletic. They like to get up and down. What type of tempo do you expect, Dan Dickow?
Well, Boise State wants to play up and down. They lead the conference in scoring, and Nevada will do the same because they've got a great backcourt. We've already spotlighted in Sherfield and Cambridge. Boise State starting off a little zone.
This is Cambridge and Sherfield. Was at Wichita State last year, the freshman Coleman. Cambridge, first 3, and it's well short. And now Boise State, their first possession. A lot of transfers for Boise State. Acott, the transfer from Arizona. Dutrieve from Arizona as well. Armish from Middle Tennessee State. That little Europe in the paint, but he missed with the right hand.
A lot of size on the floor for Boise State. Acott getting the start as well as Dutrieve. Ray J. Dennis has typically started at the point guard, not tonight.
Shaver is the lone little man out there. Cambridge misses a glider. Coleman had his shot blocked. Alston backing in. And misses. He's been in a shooting slump. Cambridge away with the ball. Open was Coleman, and the ball's out of bounds. You can see that the numbers for Nevada, and to prove that they were hot, their last game Friday, they beat Colorado State, who is one of the bubble teams we're going to see later tonight, 85-82 in a game that you called, Dan.
They made all the right adjustments and big plays down the stretch before Sherfield with the game winner that night. Desmond Cambridge gets a little bit of an angle on the defense, creates the contact. Nice touch on the runner. Chance of the three-point play.
Yeah, Nevada had some ups and downs this year. They lost 2 at Utah State. That's, that can happen. They're good, but they swept Boise State. They swept Fresno State. They lost 2 tight ones at San Diego State by 5 and by 2 points. They won that one game against Colorado State. Alston goes down hard. Armish is down. Back to Alston, who's on his feet. Kick it back out. That's Dutrieve, and he misses the 3. Sherfield, lob. Boy, that's nice. Warren Washington on the receiving end, and it's a 4-0 start for Nevada.
Great catch and finish, but the patience for Sherfield coming off that pick and roll to wait until the big guarding him on the hedge left to deliver it was unbelievable. Great pass.
Shaver penetrates. Sherfield with the steal. Cambridge out ahead. Good defense by Dutrieve to poke it loose. And stumbling through the lane is Daniel Foster. And it's a Boise State ball. All right, Dan Dickow, you were a scorer in college, certainly. You would have loved playing in the Steve Alford system. How do you get Derek Alston back? His last 2 games, he is 6 for his last 29.
Well, I think a big part of it is that right there. Put the ball on the deck, attack the rim. He's got the ability and length to finish in that manner, but also it puts foul pressure on the defense. So if he gets fouled, you get yourself to the free throw line. Many times that's all a scorer or a shooter needs, is to see the ball go through the basket.
Yeah, from distance, 2 of 17 during that slump. Alston a steal. He's a terrific player on both ends of the floor. Acott penetrates. Shaver thought about the 3. That was a pick, but no roll. Sherfield on Shaver, steps through and finishes.
Sherfield is so skilled. He's not the most explosive athlete. He does a good job changing speeds, changing directions. Really creative with the basketball.
Acott. And Washington has the rebound. Sherfield, who transferred from Wichita State. That was a dysfunctional situation for the Shockers, and he's just blown up. But not a mystery. Remember, Steve Alford recruited him at UCLA. Cambridge misses the 3. Acott in transition. Backing down. Acott. Boy, that's a tough pass to execute.
Acott's just trying to do too much. The previous possession on the pick, and you said no roll. He just made the wrong read. The defense didn't call for a roll in the previous situation. That time, trying to squeeze it into too small of a window.
Cambridge, the transfer from Brown, takes the 3 and hits it straight on. He lit up the Ivy League He led Brown in scoring his freshman and sophomore years. 16 a game at Nevada. Do you sense that everybody for Boise State is trying to do too much, especially in this 3-game losing streak? Shaver, and he's fouled. Well, this is a must-win game, many feel, for the Boise State Broncos. And right now, Nevada's off to a great start.
Great start is right. Throw it up to the big fella, Warren Washington, and finish it off. And if you're not in Cambridge's space, chalk it up for 3.
This is Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Together we do more. By AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. And by Marco's. Pizza lovers get it.
Images from the last Boise State NCAA tournament trip. They were in the first 4, but some prize. They played Dayton in Dayton and lost by just a point. And right now they are down by 7 early to the 5 seed Nevada. And we present our Marco's Pizza Hungry for the win. And you can't, it's not just Boise State, but the next 3 teams you're going to see in these quarterfinals, Utah State, Colorado State, and Boise State, are squarely on everybody's bubble.
Yeah, you look at the net ranking of 43, that is solid enough for me to think they're in. The record versus those other 2 teams on the graphic, 3-1. But they've struggled as of late, lost their last 3. This to me is a must-win, even though I do think they are in, but you don't want to leave any doubt to the selections committee. They do have some good wins, in particular at BYU, who took Gonzaga deep into the second half the other night in the WCC title game.
And it feels like for Boise State, you need more than just Derek Alston today. Marcus Shaver is a scorer. He averages 11 a game. And he hits his first free throw. And if you just joined us again, Abu Kijab, 12 points, 5 rebounds a game. Second team, all Mountain West, is out. That shoulder is still not ready. We saw Max Rice, who's checked into the ball game. Ray J. Dennis is in as well. So a new backcourt for Boise State.
A little 3-quarter court pressure just to kind of slow Nevada up and make them think bringing the ball down the floor.
KJ Himes in the game for Nevada, along with Kane Milley. Sherfields into the corner for Coleman. He's just a freshman. Cambridge, short clock, no problem.
And you go from a great defensive possession to liking the shot taken by Nevada to ugh, because that is a big shot for Nevada and Desmond Cambridge.
This is Dennis off a screen, and his pass is tipped and stolen. Another turnover. Coleman in transition.
Nevada's been really active on the defensive end with their hands, getting deflections.
Cambridge again. Desmond Cambridge Jr. has come to play. He's drilled another 3.
All right, scouting report change. We saw it in the first game, San Diego State, Wyoming. Cambridge is hot. You've got to find him. Don't give him any space.
He's hit 3 threes. Alston a step back, corner 3. That's a great sign for Boise State. Alston trying to get his game back and his shooting touch as well. And that snaps an 11-2 Nevada run. Sherfields. Himes, Milner got a hand, and that's a walk and a turnover for Nevada.
Well, as a point guard, you're coming off pick and rolls. You got to find guys. Here's a previous possession from Kane Millen finding the hot hand in Cambridge, who likes it. But in talking about Sherfield coming off the previous pick and roll, if the big setting your screen, in that case was Himes, doesn't have great ability to catch and finish in transition, keep it, wait till he gets to his spot, then deliver the pass.
Retrieve averages 8 a game. Armish back in, and Dutrieve uses the glass and gets the bucket.
I don't know about that one. I don't think he was expecting or planning to shoot it off the glass, but he'll take it.
Cambridge is feeling it. Cambridge is filling it. goodness.
That's the other way to beat the zone. First you knock down threes like he has, then find that nail, that soft spot in the zone.
He's got 13. Rice driving. And he'll get 2 free throws. Desmond Cambridge Jr., we talked about it, he dominated in the Ivy League with Brown. Led them in scoring, averaged 17 his freshman year, 16 his sophomore year. Boy, has he found a home. He's had big games, 27, 24, 24. Tomorrow starting at 12 Eastern, CBS Sports Network brings you the 2021 Air Force Reserve Conference USA semifinals from Frisco, Texas. One step closer to the NCAA tournament in Conference USA. Lead is 6. Cambridge gives, Hines fouled, Armish clubbed him.
Clubbed him is right, but that's a good foul. If you get put in a bad position, you've got to foul in a way that they can't get the three-point play opportunity. Cambridge attacks a poor closeout, finds Himes on that baseline, puts him in the line for 2.
Boise State, near the end of the regular season, started to get some really good minutes from Lucas Milner, the junior, 6'10", 225. So early in this season, if Armish got in foul trouble, that was trouble. But now you've got Milner, who's been able to come off and take up some minutes off the bench. He's already been in for a spell in this one. Dennis feeds. Acott lobs. Armish catch. And a foul on Trey Coleman.
Nevada off to a great start, and it's because of this man, Desmond Cambridge Jr. 13 early ones. 3 from beyond the arc, as well as finding ways to impact the zone.
Five seed, 4 seed here. Boise State, almost a must win. And Nevada's quick start, Desmond Cambridge Jr.
Well, quick start is right, Rich. 13 points in the first 8 minutes, and he's done it in different ways. Known as a great three-point shooter, but he also has the ability to put the ball on the deck. He can get to the middle of the paint, create his own shot. And on that last one, you're there, but you're not there. When a guy is hot, you have to be there in his space with a hand up, contesting or making him not think he's open.
Shot tracker, 5 of 8 and 3 of 5 from distance, and he gets his first rest. And Mladen Armish, who started his career at Tennessee State. Actually, he started his career back in Serbia and was spotted by a high school coach for a Christian academy in Little Rock, Arkansas, who said, you know, you would make a great college player. He was about to sign a contract with the ABA, not the ABA with the colored ball, but the Adriatic Basketball Association. Didn't sign it, showed up, played for that high school in Little Rock, and then from Tennessee State to here at Boise State.
He's had a great impact on this Boise State program. A big, strong, tough, physical. He can score it on the low block. He's great on the offensive glass. I think he's filling a great role for Boise State.
Foster gets it down low. Washington, he's still pretty raw. Milling runs down the rebound. There were some questions about Milling's ankle. It seems to be okay. He is playing. Abu Kijab is not for Boise State. Sherfield.
Wow.
Whoa.
He had the 6'8" Alston right in his space, but when you have confidence, you're willing to raise up over anybody at any time.
And that's the thing about Sherfield. Some of his biggest shots have come when he's heavily guarded. Armish spins and draws another foul.
Glad we get a chance to look at this previous bucket from Sherfield. Doesn't like the pick and roll look the first time. Alston with his length right there. But when you play at your own pace, you change speeds, you change directions as a little guard, you're the one that's in control. And you get the defense off balance, and you get that ability to raise up when you want, like Sherfield did. It makes life difficult on the defense.
For a smaller guard, Sherfield 6'2", Dan, you were an undersized guard. The release point is always one that you look for, and his release point to me seems to be back almost, you know, elbows out, and tough to get if you're defending him.
It can be. Some guards have learned that they need to have a high release, but for me, the biggest thing for a smaller guard to create a shot is, do they have kind of a different cadence into their ball handling into a shot to keep the defense at bay and not be able to crowd them?
Where was your release point?
About eye height. I didn't really have a really high release, but I had a quick trigger, and if you gave me a little bit of an opening, I was willing to shoot it, maybe too many times.
Shot clock's down. Sherfield again, lost the ball. Washington's gonna have to heave it, and he does. I don't know that he beat the clock. They may have to look at that. Boise State says review it, and all the officials agree, and they're headed over to the monitor.
Yeah, that's a case where Leon Rice for Boise State is absolutely, let's look at it. Steve Alford's like, nah, come on, let's play, but this isn't necessarily.
Ooh, that's close.
A clean play from Nevada. A nice bucket from Washington, but it'll be interesting to see what the officials are looking at and how many angles they get to be able to make this decision. Oh, doesn't look like he got it off. Right there. It's because you go by the light behind the backboard in the shot clock.
So no basket. 10.5 minutes left first half. And Nevada, who's beaten Boise State twice in the regular season. Steve Alford's team has had some big wins against the four top teams. And of course, in the Mountain West, it's been such a separation between the top four and the rest of the pack. But Nevada has kind of bridged that gap. They're the one team that has risen close to those four. Acott.
Acott seems to just be trying to do too much. A couple turnovers. That was not a patient opportunity on the low post.
Robbie Robinson in for Nevada. Shaver going for the steal.
And this is where the loss of Key-Jab for Boise State really hurts. He is an extremely versatile player. On the offensive end, he can handle it. He can get you into offense. He can make an occasional three enough to make you guard him out there. He can put the ball on the deck. He can post. And then defensively, he might be their best on-ball defender.
Oh, wow. Sherfield plays much bigger than 6'2". Strong to the bucket, bumped, and strong enough to get it up and in.
Gets that shoulder down by the defense, and then the off-legged finish. As a young kid, you always are taught the correct cadence and to jump off if you're shooting a right-hand layup, your left foot, or vice versa. But as you get higher in the game of basketball, you've got to be creative around the rim and be able to finish with different hands, with off leg, with both legs. Such an advantage that he has when he gets into the paint.
Sherfield makes the free throw, 25-15. Foul trouble for Boise State. Marcus Shaver is out. Gladden Armish is out, both with 2 fouls. Max Rice in. And it stays with Boise State. And this is and here, look, we should say this right out. Nevada could win this tournament. Nevada can go to the NCAA tournament. They are playing that well right now. And I'm not talking about this game, I'm talking about the last week or two of the season.
Yeah, I would agree with you. They are playing very well. And they beat a really good Colorado State in their season finale.
And there is Lucas Milner. I told you he's getting more minutes. And the junior on the scoreboard, 8-point Nevada lead. Sherfield. Robinson runs it down. Fresh shot clock. Oh, Washington met at the rim. And go into the line.
Last possession Acott does a nice job turning down the three and attacking. Milner gets himself into an opportunity position, and then a great job keeping it high and get to a quick finish.
Washington hits the free throw. This game started out as the Desmond Cambridge show. 3 threes, 13 points right out of the chute. Sherfield has 8 to lead Nevada. Sherfield out, KJ Himes is in. This is a 10-point lead. This is significant right now. And Boise State, you know, a high-scoring team, one of the best in the conference, but not their last 3 games. Their 3 losses. They've been well under their average. Acott.
You're right, Richard, saying that they've been under their average the last couple games. You know, a 10-point deficit in our first game of the day between San Diego State and Wyoming would have felt almost insurmountable, the pace that that game was played. You know, 10 points with either of these teams, that is not asking too much to get back into the game.
Acott, the Canadian, played 48 games at Arizona. Himes is out, Washington back in. Trey Coleman back in for Nevada as well. Boise State doing most of their damage at the free throw line. 10 of 10 from the line, but down by 8. Sherfield blocked. Acott got it. Sherfield got it back and scores.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. Acott, the nice block. Unfortunately, if you're a Bronco fan, ball pops right back to Sherfield.
Boise State needs to figure out where they're going to get points, because they're not coming right now. Retrieve. Acott. Got it. He is capable. He had 18 points and 3 assists against Fresno State in the last week of the season. Washington. That's too easy.
Good execution, cross screen from Nevada to free up Washington, but you got to get through that.
That is a high arcing shot and tipped up and in. Armish, or excuse me, I think Dutrieve.
I think you're right.
Got the hand on it. Coleman to the corner. Milling. He does that, and he does it well. 38% from distance. His dad was a great 3-point shooter. Dad Kyle. Played in college, played in Europe. Alston. Yes.
Such a soft touch from Alston there. 6'9" wing. You don't usually see a player that size have the touch that he had on that last shot.
Milling. Oh, wow. A fine for Washington, who scores and is fouled.
Because Milling knocks down a 3 on the previous possession, you close out, attack that closeout, and then what a find to Washington.
Nevada and Boise State. And right now, the Wolfpack from deep and from in tight. Bracket Week presented by Kubota. (36-25), the 5-seed Nevada on top of Boise State. Bracket Week presented by Kubota. News and notes. All right, Dan Dickow, here we go. Duke out from the ACC tournament. COVID protocols. Big Ten bubble battle as the Terps take down Michigan State. And Villanova loses to Georgetown in the Garden in the Big East. Maybe now the security guards at the Garden will know who Patrick Ewing is.
Unbelievable. Scrolling through social media between games, and The security guards at Madison Square Garden did not know who Patrick Ewing, one of the greatest Knicks of all time, his number, I believe, hangs in the rafters, had to show his credentials. That's going to be an interesting next round game for the security guards at MSG.
That would be like here at the Thomas and Mack not knowing who Grandmama is, right? Larry Johnson, who was
Yes.
a Knick, a great Knick. Washington misses a free throw. This is 11-point Nevada lead. And now a little zone look. Acott. Ray J. Dennis takes the three, and Ray J. Dennis hits the three.
That is a big shot. Did not start this afternoon. He's only scored in double figures once in his last 12 games. He is a big part to what they do. If Boise State wants to get to the NCAA tournament, they need a big effort from him here in Vegas.
Washington, and he scores. Boy, he's playing hard and playing well. Warren Washington, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Acott. Dennis rising, and a runner by Ray J. This is a fun offense for guards. And you got Cambridge and Sherfield who can really fill it up. And a head coach who knows what that's about in Steve Alford. Armish, the rebound. Alston hunting a transition three. Around the screen, and Coleman fouled, trying to get through it. And it's 1-1.
Let's go.
Steve Alford, pretty heated over there on the Nevada bench. Didn't think the screen being set by Armish of Boise State was set. Coleman did a nice job trying to skinny up and fight through that screen, but I thought it was a foul. I'm in agreement with the official.
He's taken 4 different teams to the NCAA tournament. If, in fact, Nevada stays hot here and wins this one, that'll be 5 different teams to NCAA tournaments. Dennis delivers, and Armish flushes.
That's what they need from Ray J. Dennis. Last couple minute stretch, a three, a runner, and then playmaking opportunity for his big fella, Armish.
Sherfield. Coleman. Oh my goodness. The freshman out of Jeffersonville, Indiana.
He's played really well as of late. He averages about 6 a game on the season, but had a nice finish to the season in the win against Colorado State in double figures.
Alston. Washington wins the battle. Sherfield down. And a Boise State foul.
Alston doing the right thing in the gaps because Sherfield is such a good point guard at penetrating, but not quite able to get back and contest the shot to force a miss. I mean, Sherfield just creates so many problems for a defense. He is really good in pick and rolls. He's patient. He allows the help side to make a mistake, and then he makes you pay for it. Too many point guards kind of have their mind made up before the defense commits to one thing or the other. He does a nice job patiently waiting for them to make a mistake.
And Boise State does not have an answer right now for Sherfield. They didn't have an answer for him in the regular season. Dutrieve. Points are coming a little easier for Boise State. The problem is they can't stop Nevada right now.
You're right, Nevada, 61% from the field. 3 guys in double figures, and Sherfield, jeez, he shot that from the strip.
This is no surprise. Sherfield 20 points, 14 assists, 29 points, 8 assists in the 2 meetings in the regular season. 14 points here, and another 3 for Boise State. Acott. A lot of fluidity in this game now.
Well, we just mentioned how well Nevada is shooting it. I mean, Boise State themselves shooting it over 60% from the field.
Sherfield. Oh, goodness. 17. 3 for 3 from distance. 11-point lead. Acott. Screen for Dutrieve. And that is going to be a charge. This is trouble for the 4-seed Boise State. The 5-seed Nevada, who's beaten them twice this year, is up right now by 11 in a must-win situation for the Broncos in Las Vegas, quarterfinal day.
Here we go. Big fella jamming in there. Oh my goodness. Can you believe this? Anything can happen in March.
Ready, set, go. Selection show on Sunday, first 4 on Thursday, first 2 rounds. And then the regionals on CBS and TBS. The final 4 in the national championship on CBS. Jerry Palm's bubble updated this morning. That's where you see Boise State. Drake is done, though they do get a key player back. Tank Hemphill should be available if they get to the tournament. Syracuse in overtime lost today. And Utah State in the last 4 out as well. You like that St. Louis team?
I do like that St. Louis team. They've been unfortunately hit by a couple COVID pauses, but they showed the ability to really guard. And this year more than others, I'm in the mindset of let's get the mid-major type of teams a chance to get in the tournament because they didn't have the benefit of non-conference opportunities. So on that list, VCU, Boise State, although they got to play better today, Drake, St. Louis, and Utah State, I'm pulling for them.
And Dan Gavitt, president of the NCAA basketball tournament, said that to CBS about 3 weeks ago, that this is the year that you really have to do more than just look at you know, head-to-head, because there really wasn't. Conferences didn't have those resume-building non-conference opportunities. Milner off the glass and scores. And so you don't know, I mean, how good is a conference if only you've played your conference. And that's not just for mid-majors, that goes for a lot of major conferences who didn't get to play outside. Oh my goodness. The Desmond Cambridge show is here in Las Vegas for a long engagement.
I mean, Boise State needs to recognize the three-point shooters. 9 made threes now in the first half.
Alston answers.
He does answer. It's hard when you're trading threes for twos.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like Celine Dion, but Cambridge has got 16 points right now. And Nevada has hung 51 up with 2 minutes left in this first half. Good hands. Dutrieve knocked it loose. Dennis has had some flashes offensively. Alston, oh, really nice give to Milner.
Beautiful cut by Alston. Defense commits on rotation, and then a great find of Milner.
Boise State's offense starting to flow. Lead down to 8. Minute and a half left. Alston, Milner. Coming up, AT&T 5G at the half. Brent Stover and everybody ready to go. We'll talk a little bit, I'm sure, about San Diego State's narrow escape from Wyoming and the substantial schedule remaining here in the Mountain West quarterfinals with 2 more bubble teams to play. It's coming up at the half. Nevada, at times, this looked like they'd run away with this. Boise State was very sluggish offensively, but the last 5 minutes, the points have started to come. Sherfield and Cambridge have combined for 33. Washington kicks. Milling. Dutrieve lob. That's an ambitious one for Milner. And Sherfield has the loose ball.
Ambitious is putting it nicely. Not a good decision from Dutrieve. Even if Milner catches it, what's he going to do with it?
I like ambitious better than poor.
Okay, gotcha.
Sherfield isolated. Akon has got length on him. He's 6'8". Sherfield takes the right side, kicks back. Milling penetrates, floats, and missed it. Dennis, numbers for Boise State. This is a rare break for the Broncos. Alston finds Milner again, and Alston with his passing right now is starting to close the gap.
That's the way Boise State wanted to end the first half. Let's see if they can get a stop to continue the momentum.
8 seconds left, first half. Sherfield, Cambridge on his left. Starts the drive, lost it. Dennis. Signs of life from the 4-seed Boise State. A 6-0 run to close the first half. The 5-seed, the 4-seed, and Boise State in what many feel is a must-win situation. Coming up after the break, we'll send you back to our New York studio. Brent Stover is ready, our point guard for AT&T 5G at the half. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. This was a wild first half. Quarterfinal day, you're looking at Las Vegas and Nevada, the 5-seed, on top of Boise State. How crazy. Look at these numbers. Look at the shooting percentage. Rich Waltz, Dan Dickow. This is amazing. This is right up your alley. You were a shooter, Dan Dickow.
Yeah, you're exactly right. If you like offense, you must have been really entertained in that first half, because both teams were playing lights out on the offensive end. Not much defense played either end of the floor, but really the impressive thing was 9 of 13 from beyond the arc for Nevada.
Well, we told you that Nevada can score, and their 2 guards were dynamite, Desmond Cambridge and Grant Sherfield.
Well, Cambridge got things started off, 16 of his points, and really 13 of them were in the first 8 minutes when he was on fire, both from the 3 as well as getting into the paint. But then Grant Sherfield took over. 17 points, did a nice job of finding opportunities for himself as well as his big man, Warren Washington.
There's the numbers. You add Sherfield and Cambridge and Washington, you got 43 of the 51 points. Washington averages 9 a game, Sherfield 18 a game, Cambridge 16 a game.
Well, you kind of get the sense, Rich, that whichever team really kind of locks in defensively is going to be in control down the stretch of this game. For Boise State, that would be limiting 3-point opportunities for Nevada, and on the flip side for Nevada is just, you know, making difficult opportunities for Boise, because they've done a nice job of getting to the rim, whether it's slice cut actions or dribble penetration.
Of note, Lucas Milner is in this starting 5 to start the second half. Shaver, who had 2 fouls and really wasn't a factor in the first half, opens the scoring. And this is as close as Boise State has been in some time.
Milner, you mentioned, a career high, actually, 8 points in that first half.
Alston with a kick. It stays with Nevada. Washington over Milner. And Milner rips down the rebound. Retrieve in transition. Corner to Alston.
Great defense from Coleman.
Retrieve got the 3. And here come the Broncos. This is an 11-0 run for Boise State and a 1-point game. And you can see a drought in 3.5 minutes for Nevada, and they've scored 51 points in this game. Cambridge with some contact and a bucket.
It looked as if Acott blocked his shot from behind, but Cambridge able to get it to go down.
I mean, this feels like a game in the 90s right now.
We get another look at it. Oh, it didn't look like he blocked his shot. It looked like he clocked Cambridge on the backside of the head. He got lucky not getting called for a foul there.
Boise State throughout this game has played big. Shaver and Dennis have not really been on the floor at the same time. Acott whips it. Dutree from deep. And that's short. Washington is 3 rebounds shy of a double-double. Sherfield kicks. Coleman missed the 3. And Shaver for Boise State. Acott put a shoulder in. That's a difficult shot. Washington with a rebound. Cambridge lob, nice, really nice, and Washington stretches Nevada's lead back to 5. Shaver around a screen. He had the shot but didn't take it. Gets it back.
Great extra effort from Milner. Get on the floor, come up with that loose ball. Those are the type of plays that give you extra possessions that allow you to win a close basketball game.
Shot clock was not reset properly. This is a really odd scoring game for Boise State with nobody in double figures. Now, on one hand, that's good. It's balance. Alston in this game, 4 of 6, 9 points. Shaver gets into the lane, and he gets to the line.
That's where he's best. He is a really good scorer, Marcus Shaver. Started his career at the University of Portland, where he averaged double figures both of those seasons. Not necessarily a great three-point shooter, but he is a scorer.
Leon Rice said he's a shot maker with an NFL body. Paramount Plus is here, live sports, breaking news, and a mountain of entertainment. Paramount Plus, try it free. This has turned into quite an offensive show. Both teams are just lights out from the field. Nevada's at 56%. Boise State is at 66%. Sherfield rising. Oh my goodness, Milner up and over, gets the rebound and draws a foul. This is a guy that had to email a junior college coach for a tryout. Can I come out for the team? Johnson County Community College. The coach said, okay, come on out, we'll take a look. Made the team and led the nation in field goal percentage.
Well, for so many guys, it's all about making the most of your opportunity, and sometimes you have to create that opportunity in sports and in life. Lucas Milner created an opportunity, he's made the most of it, and now in a very important stretch of the season for Boise State, making some big plays.
Hook and hold. You could see the hold there by Washington. He had the arm and hooked it and held it. That's been a point of emphasis last couple seasons. Cambridge with a steal. Boy, Washington was trailing and was open for a moment. Steps through and scores, and it's Milner's foul.
Warren Washington has shown quite a bit this afternoon. Has done a nice job of being available in screen roll actions. That time, posts up, gets great position. The footwork, the balance, the extension to the finish on the other side of the rim, that was impressive. Initially started his career at Oregon State for Wayne Tinkle. Decided he needed a change of scenery, and it's been good for him in Reno.
Second foul for Milner. Armish is back in and has the rebound. Shaver. Got him with a 5-point lead. We're about 4 minutes in, second half. Great shooting first half. Sherfield a show with a right hand after he got in the lane and got away from the taller Broncos.
Such a good job setting up the pick and roll angles that he wants to use.
Sherfield has 19 now. Alston.
Cambridge is really getting after it on the defensive end, not giving Alston any angles.
It's not a good pass. Acott hit Armish right in the shin with a bounce pass.
Usually you want to throw it to where your big man can catch it. Make it easy on him. Acott made it difficult. We got a good one here in Las Vegas. Back and forth, Broncos and Wolfpack. We'll be right back.
Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Nevada by 7. Jimmy John's freaky, fast play of the game. This is fast.
Well, you get it on one end on the rebound. You push it up the floor. You make the quick extra pass. Alston to Milner. That's how you run a fast break, especially if you want it freaky fast.
Shooting percentages are still out of this world right now. 56% for Nevada, 64% for Boise State. Milner playing a terrific game. He's picked up a couple fouls. He has 8 points. Grant Sherfield with his 17, 18 for Cambridge, 16 for Washington for Nevada. KJ Himes in the ball game. Daniel Foster in there as well for the Wolfpack. Himes open, and Rice with a reach fouled him.
Well, nice surprise trap there from Boise State. Weak side was not connected. Max Rice late to react. At least he fouled in a way that Himes wasn't able to convert the basket and a chance of the three-point play, because Himes is not a great free throw shooter, so you'd rather put him at the line.
67% is Himes. Steve Alford knows what it takes to win this tournament. He's done it twice as the head coach at New Mexico. In fact, on his staff is Craig Neal. Neal, who took over for Alford at New Mexico. He won this tournament as well. Two guys who have known each other since they were in 3rd grade. Dennis off a screen. Armish floating in the lane. Alston has not been able to get a lot of clean looks at threes. Oh, goes down and calls a timeout. I'm not sure if he slipped on the logo or just plain slipped, but an 8-point lead for Nevada. We're 5 minutes in, second half. Must win, many say, for this Bronco team. And Nevada is a handful. Nevada still on top, an 8-point lead. 5 minutes in, second half. We've been following Shot Tracker, and you can download the Shot Tracker app yourself. Teams are using it to track shots. There's a chip in the basketball, in the players' jerseys. Here's a look at Nevada's shot chart, and the points from deep were mostly first half. Dan Dickow in the second half, Shot Tracker has them in the paint.
It has been all about getting into the paint for Nevada in the second half, and that's such a good job of taking what the defense gives you. Boise State's defense going to close down on that three-point shot, find ways to attack the rim, whether it's pick and rolls, whether it's post-ups, or dribble drive opportunities. Nevada has done a nice job of balancing the two.
Broncos with some urgency and another Broncos slips. Now we watched the Alston slip to break. He did not slip on the logo, and this time it looked like Shaver just flat out lost his footing and slid out. They're going to get the mop out, or what serves as the modern mop in basketball. Because you want to get not only the area that he slipped on, but wherever he fell, there's going to be wetness as well. This has not been a great matchup for Boise State this year. Nevada beat him twice. Once was a buzzer beater by this man, Sherfield. The other was a little more decisive. Sherfield got hung up, throws it away. Max Rice in transition. That's not a great pass. And a quick turnover by Boise State.
Sometimes in transition, if you're not sold on what you have, keep your dribble and get into offense. Boise State has executed offensively really well this evening, still shooting nearly 65% from the field.
And there obviously is urgency here for Boise State on the bubble, needing a win. But adding to that is they've lost 3 in a row. Cambridge hits a turnaround jumper. And Max Rice coming back up the floor is limping noticeably. This is a 7-0 run.
That's the third Boise State player to slip in the last minute or so. It didn't look as if he rolled his ankle. Hopefully he'll be all right over there and be able to come back into the game.
Ray J. Dennis is in, along with Shaver, Dutrieve, Alston, and Armish for Boise State. Alston rising up, missed it long. Cambridge with the rebound. In transition, Coleman. Cambridge spots up and misses the 3. Himes an offensive rebound.
That's a big man's nightmare. You get it isolated at the free throw line and you want to attack, but you hear all the coaches yelling, get it back out to a guard.
Here's the thing about Boise State, Dan, and we've talked about, look, you're on the bubble. Many people say this is a must win. Another part of this that is considered by the selection committee is how you're playing lately. They've lost 3 in a row. You don't want to be in that position with your hat in your hand asking for a bid if you've lost 4 straight games and you've been on the bubble for the last 2 weeks.
Well, you're exactly right. Committee wants to see teams playing at their best. And if Boise State were to lose this one, that would be a tough sell for the committee.
Armish is out now, 4 fouls. Milner, who's played well, is battling Himes. And Cambridge, difficult shot. Dutrieve. Broncos haven't been able to do much of this. And that's flow up the floor, find a transition 3 or 2. Sherfield banging with Milner, and it's Sherfield's foul. Dan Dickow, selection committee member, at least for this segment. Here's the case for Boise State or against Boise State.
Well, you see 4, 18-7 record, and they've got some good wins, in particular in the non-conference winning at BYU, which is a really good win. They played a top 10-ish Houston team very well in their opener. But if you look at how they're playing at the end of the season, if they were to lose today, that would not bode well for them with the case against.
Sherfield, Milner got a hand on it. It's a 10-point lead. Aycott hard and fouled, and probably was Trey Coleman. Boise State still does not have a scorer in double figures. Sherfield has 19, Cambridge has 20 for Nevada. I guess it's a good time to ask the question, how much do they miss Abu Kijab?
They miss him on both ends of the floor. Defensively, you can switch any action with him, whether it's a down screen, a cross screen, a pick and roll. And then offensively, he's versatile. He can handle it at times in pick and roll. He can push in transition. He is a guy that he can create his own shot when he puts the ball on the deck.
Really nice find from Foster to Himes.
A great find is right, but the defense on the weak side for Boise State, you've got to be ready to rotate and react much quicker on that roll.
Dennis took a shot to the face.
The screen and roll action is going to happen right here on the floor. If we pause it, look at where the help side's at, all over there. If you're guarding someone on the opposite side of the floor where action is happening, you should be in the middle of the floor.
Speaking of the floor, they're working on it right now on both wings because there's been moisture. We've seen a few players slip.
Hey, everybody come in here for a second. Come here. Just come here. Let's listen. Listen, the floor, you're wet. You wipe up about 50 spots, okay? So be smart on your moves and all that kind of shit, right? I know you're going to explode, but remember what we got, okay?
We just heard one of the officials, David Hall, draw players together and tell them, if you see a spot on the floor, let us know, because there's something we're battling here, and that is some moisture, and it seems to be on this end of the floor.
David Hall, one of the best officials in college basketball, very personable. He's confident in his skills as an official, but he's willing to listen, hear you out if you have a complaint, and explain things when he sees it a different way.
I guess my question would be, where is the moisture coming from? There's no ice underneath this. We're in Las Vegas.
It has not been raining, at least since I've been here.
It's supposed to rain a little bit, I think, this afternoon, but it's something to keep an eye on. An 11-point Nevada lead. Acott, and he's fouled. He was not shooting.
Good baseline out of bounds execution from Boise State. Get a little flex cut screen to get Acott on that block, but he gets the defense up in the air. You got to understand and recognize they're up in the air. Finish the contact, get yourself to the free throw line. Instead, he throws a pass to the weak side as he's getting the foul called for him.
6th team foul for Nevada. Acott backing in. Leon Rice was right there, highlighting the contact for the officials. And so that's 7, and it's into the bonus. And that's probably where Boise State's done their best work in this game. They're 13 of 14. It's funny how this is the time of year where all the bubble teams root against each other, right? You want,
Yes.
If you're a bubble team, you just want bubbles popping and bursting, but not yours. And that's happened, and I think it's going to happen. I think these conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament will be the most unpredictable postseason college basketball has seen in a long, long time because of this unique season. Foster's fouled well before the shot. Timeout in Las Vegas, and Nevada is up 11. (64-53), Nevada on top of Boise State. Nevada the 5 seed. Steve Alford right in the middle of his Wolfpack. What an incredible career he's had. Let's go to the very top. His latest entry to the resume, second season at Nevada, really has things rolling in the right direction. Mr. Basketball, of course, in Newcastle, Chrysler High School. His dad is coach there. And then a terrific career, NCAA championship at Indiana. Olympic team, 4 teams in the NCAA tournament. Speaking of Indiana, here we go. The entire tournament in Indiana. Purdue and Indiana hosting downtown Indianapolis. It's got great venues as well. And we'll be there here on CBS. 4 different teams. UCLA, New Mexico, Iowa, Southwest Missouri State, which is now Missouri State. And he'd love to add a 5th.
The way he's got this Nevada program playing at the end of this season and the youth that they have with some of their players, you can only imagine it's only a matter of time before Nevada gets back to the NCAA tournament under his direction.
And again, they're still working on the moisture there. There's a look at Alford. The guy he's talking to over there, he's known since the 3rd grade. And if you want to talk Indiana basketball, I mean, you've got to include Craig Neal. Craig Neal's dad was a high school coach. These two met in 3rd grade. They played on all-star teams. Neal went on to set an ACC record in assists as a point guard at Georgia Tech, played in the NBA just like Alford as well. And they've been together in a lot of places. Off the inbounds, Himes, loose ball. Milner with a block, Himes with a rebound. Held ball, arrow is going Boise State's way.
Milner getting a chance with extended minutes has really made an impact. A career high 8 points, but he's been active on the defensive end, not just on that block, but other times early in rotations, active on the offensive and defensive boards.
Dutrieve, offensive foul. Nine points and 3 fouls for Dutrieve. Abu Kijab, his shoulder still injured. Did not suit up for this game. That's a big loss for Boise State. With or without him, this is still not a good matchup for the Broncos. Nevada has beat them twice. Alston. Acott. And Himes throws it away to Dennis. A 3, got it from Alston. And if he can heat up, that would be good news for Boise State.
They needed that one. First Bronco in double figures, averages nearly 18 a game on the year, but he can score it with ease.
He's had a good shooting game, Dan. He's 5 of 8 from the field and hit a couple threes as well. He just hasn't taken a lot of shots.
Well, Nevada's keyed on him. They've done a really nice job of not giving him in angles and opportunities to get on track.
Cambridge. Desmond Cambridge is a scorer, and he has scored from every spot on the floor.
He is showing a lot. Hit 3 threes in the first couple minutes of the game, and ever since then he's been nice job mixing and matching how he attacks.
Ray J. Dennis.
Alston finding open space off the Ray J. Dennis penetration. But Desmond Cambridge Jr. is continuing to be a thorn in the side of the Broncos. Early with threes, now he's been slashing. Boise State needs more of that from Ray J. Dennis. When he is aggressive and scoring, I think Boise State's at their best.
That foul on Himes is his 3rd. Dennis misses the free throw. It's into single digits. An 8-point lead for Nevada. Milling. The floater. Dutrieve. Wow.
Wow is right.
End to end.
Explosive with the left. Beautiful finish.
6-point game. Sherfield. Broncos have rhythm. Alston, a 3. Well short. Sherfield escapes the pressure. Milling finds Foster. Has his miss. Washington catches and flushes.
9th offensive rebound for Nevada. There, they track down the long one, and it leads to an easy 2 for Warren Washington.
Boy, he's having a career day here. 16 points, 10 rebounds. In the biggest of spots. Every time Boise State makes a run, Nevada has an answer. Washington tries a hook. It's a block. And free throws for Boise State. And it's Dutrieve at the line. Broncos, their last game, their last loss was against Fresno State, and it was at home for Leon Rice on senior day. They didn't share the ball like they usually did. They had just 20 field goals and had only 6 assists in that game.
That's a hallmark of Leon Rice's best Bronco teams. They do a nice job of spacing the floor, sharing it, and creating for others.
Better today, 12 assists on 21 made buckets. Sherfield, late clock, he's dangerous. Oh, great rebound by Coleman. And Alston couldn't save it.
Broncos hanging in there due to plays like this. Devonair Dutrieve pushing it the length of the floor and the great finish in traffic. But on the flip side, Warren Washington having a career day.
Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. 6-point ball game, 7.5 left. The 5 seed leads the 4 seed in the Mountain West quarterfinals. Stacking up stats is brought to you by Pringles. Where are we going, Dan Dickow?
Well, I think we got to stay with Nevada's Warren Washington. A double-double, 16 points, 10 rebounds. He has done a really nice job of being active on the offensive glass, where he's got 2, but I think where he's made a difference is screen and roll actions, making himself available. Too many times bigs will screen and roll, but they're not in the vision of the ball handler, and Washington has done a good job of that today.
Catch and shoots. Cambridge misses. Alston rebounds. Up ahead to Aycock. Into the lane. 15-footer. Milner tips it out of bounds. It could be that there's 7 minutes and 17 seconds left in one of these teams' season.
And if that's the case, especially with Boise State having struggled the last couple games, is you've got to put it all on the line, pick up defensively, play with a passion these last 7 minutes and leave it all out there.
Cambridge finds Washington. I think Aycott got a hand on it. Shaver, good shooter. Milner's got a smaller man on his back, and Milling held him.
Milner, a nice job of trying to hold his seal, but Alston patiently waiting for Milner to really get the position that's necessary with Milling trying to fight around. Too many times, if you're the entry passer in that situation, you're going to be in a rush, and you'll throw it early, and maybe that allows the guard who's in a bad position defensively to break free and come up with a steal.
Milner is 6'10", 225, and we asked Leon Rice about his athleticism and the fact that he's starting to play a little bit more. And Leon said, athleticism, he won the team mile run coming into the season. Can you imagine that at 6'10", 225? This guy won the mile run. Not many bigs can boast of that. 5-point game. Cambridge gets in and scores, and he's got a free throw.
Cambridge is a great example of constant movement on the offensive end. Moves well without the ball, uses screens, finally gets it, and then quickly attacks to the baseline. Aycott, too many times today, whether he's guarding up top or on the wing, opens up defensively, giving the offensive player an angle to attack the basket or the paint.
Approaching 6 minutes. Boise State just can't puncture this lead. They have not led in this game. Nevada has led from the very start. Dutrieve getting to the line.
With this lineup on the floor for Boise State, wouldn't be surprised to start seeing a little bit more three-quarter court press, trapping action, see if they can be opportunistic and come up with a turnover.
Throw is good. CBS Sports Network's coverage of the road to the Final Four continues from Cleveland, Ohio. Mack semifinals tomorrow, starting at 5 Eastern. Find out who moves one step closer to get their ticket for the big dance. Here, quarterfinal day, Mountain West. The 1 seed, San Diego State, barely, and I mean barely, escaped Wyoming, the 8 seed. This is game number 2. A bubble team in Boise State is in trouble. 2 more games here on CBS Sports Network. 2 more bubble teams with Utah State and Colorado State in action. Nevada, a dangerous team. Sherfield. Those guys are usually on the same page.
They usually are, yes, but that was a great defensive possession for Boise State. They handled the screen, re-screen action really well, and Dutrieve took the challenge of keeping Sherfield out of the paint.
Dutrieve looks in. Shaver rises, and a foul. 2 guys hit the deck. Alston off the play, and then Cambridge at the end of the play. Cambridge with the foul. He's got 2. KJ Himes has 4 for Nevada. Mladen Armish with 4 for Boise State. Dutrieve and Milner have 3. They creep within 5. They've crept within 4, but they've never led in this game. Sherfield. Cambridge, that's a difficult angle, baseline, around the glass, perfect release, and Cambridge has got 27 on 11 of 19 shooting. Shaver looks at the clock, starts to the bucket. Alston needs to bail him out. Avoids the block, missed the shot. Here comes Nevada, Sherfield. And the Wolfpack's lead is at 7.
And this is where having a ball handler like Sherfield is such a luxury. Run down the shot clock and then get into 1-4 flat or pick and roll situations and let him dictate the action.
Washington to the corner. Coleman missed the 3. Shaver the rebound. Under 4 minutes left. Alston in transition, going hard, rises, blocked. I think it was Cambridge. Bodies everywhere. Sherfield on Acott, stumbles, walked. No bucket. 3:43 left. The 5 seed by 7. The block by Sherfield. Cambridge, tough angle. No problem.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Pringles. Stack flavors, make new ones.
Most feel a must-win for Boise State to stay in the conversation. And right now, they are trailing the 5 seed. And tonight, 2 more bubble teams, 2 more hopes for NCAA tournament play. The 2 seed Utah State against UNLV on UNLV's home floor. And Fresno State will try to knock off the 3 seed Colorado State. It's a great night of basketball on CBS Sports Network. Andrew Catalon and Steve Lapis will be by for those 2. All right, Dan Dickow, you've watched Boise State a lot. You know Leon Rice pretty well. He was an assistant at Gonzaga. They're down right now. They just haven't been able to get any closer than 5 or 6 points in this game.
Yeah, Nevada, you got to give them credit. Nevada got off to such a hot start. Boise State has been playing catch up the entire game. They've done a great job defensively in the second half, limiting Nevada's looks. Not a single 3-pointer has been made from Nevada. But on the flip side, they've struggled offensively to get good looks. Alston has been really held down by Nevada. Boise State needs to find an easy opportunity or look on this possession.
And Nevada seems to be playing their best basketball of the year right now.
Would agree, without a doubt.
Off the timeout, Shaver misses a 3. Look at Cambridge get up. Well, he can play, and Nevada has the ball in the lead with 3.5 minutes left.
And again, ball will be in Cambridge and Sherfield's hands for Nevada.
Sherfield, almost untouched. The lead balloons to 9. Coleman, the freshman.
Well, Acott defensively, he's expecting a screen. The screen never occurs, and he stops sliding his feet. He's got to do a better job. There's been multiple occasions today where he's allowed the ball handler to get into the paint. He's a big enough, quick enough defender to be able to keep guys out. But with Sherfield's shiftiness and quickness, it's been a challenge.
The 2 dynamic scorers have really done it. Cambridge is fouled. For Nevada, this backcourt, Sherfield with 21 points on 8 of 14 shooting, perfect 3 of 3 from distance, and Cambridge 27 points, 4 of 8 from distance. This is the best backcourt in the Mountain West?
I mean, they're up there. We had a chance to watch a unique backcourt in the first game, San Diego State. Gomez, a little quick jitterbug point guard alongside Shackle. Colorado State comes to mind quickly with Isaiah Stevens and Kendall Moore, but the fact of these two guards for Nevada can both score it, and Sherfield's playmaking ability for others makes them really difficult to defend.
I'm with you. I think the closest to them is Colorado State. Those two guys, they're diminutive, but they're both dynamite.
Yeah.
Moore and Stevens. Acott kicks. Dutrieve takes the 3. Shaver has the rebound. Boise State needs points, and they need them in a hurry. Down 10. Acott rolling to the bucket, floats it in, and it cuts the lead to 8. It's going to be a timeout, 77-69. Broncos playing probably for their NCAA tournament lives. Well, the news at the start of the game wasn't great for Boise State. Abu Kijab couldn't play with that shoulder. They lose 12 points and 5 rebounds. And the news got worse when Desmond Cambridge and Grant Sherfield came out for the jump ball, right? Because those two have absolutely just lit it up. Cambridge has 29, Sherfield has 21. And it's an 8-point lead right now. Nevada with the ball. They are completely different players, too, are Sherfield and Cambridge. Oh, a fine for Washington. Third assist for Sherfield. Coleman with a foul. It stops the clock. A 10-point game.
The playmaking ability of Sherfield is such a bonus for Nevada. He's been able to control the game from start to finish on the offensive end for Nevada, and defense steps up to help. You make the simple correct play and the dump down to Washington, who gets the easy 2.
We made the point at the outset of the telecast that this was not a good matchup for Boise State. Nevada won both games. And the biggest discrepancy has been the backcourts. Boise State's backcourts have had trouble scoring against Nevada, and Nevada's has had field days in all 3 games against the Broncos. 2 minutes left.
Here we go.
Sherfield transferring from Wichita State, originally recruited and was headed to UCLA. Steve Alford lost his job. Sherfield back out. Went to Wichita State, played as a freshman. Obviously things weren't great there. Although with the change of coaches, that program has had a terrific year in the American. Sherfield has found a home here. And a coach who loves to coach guards, and Steve Alford. Acott, a 3. Got it. That's a big one. 1:41 left. Timeout, Boise State. And they have 1 left.
Well, with only having that 1 timeout left, Leon Rice must cover a lot of topics in this timeout. You've got to make your team believe that there is still enough time to either force overtime or win this game. You've got to get your message across defensively, whatever it may be. If we're going to run and jump, try to trap, quick steals, talk to them about when you might get into the foul game to put guys at the line, who you might want to put on the line. as well as then what concepts you want to play with offensively, because you've got to play fast as far as looking for opportunities this last minute 40 and change.
Possession arrow goes to Nevada. Derek Alston Jr., he's out of his shooting slump. Alston has shot pretty well tonight, 2 of 4 from 3, and has just the 12 points. Acott with 15, Dutrieve with 15. When you lose a guy like Kijam, and this is not making an excuse because, I mean, Nevada beat Boise State with Kijam. He does a lot of little things, and not just the 12 points and the 5 rebounds. He's a really solid player. Brings energy, brings versatility. I don't know if when it's all said and done, if the selection committee feels like he could be able to come back and play, if that even matters. But an 81-33, or 81-73 deficit here.
Well, I would hope they take that into consideration. He got hurt in that loss to Fresno State, and then if Boise State does go on to lose today, that's 2 without probably their second best player. I mean, he is a tough, confident player who brings a lot to their ball club.
Cambridge, Sherfield. Look at this. Look at this. Coleman. 5 guys touched it. Coleman finished it. Nevada by 10. Dutrieve. Strong to the bucket. And again, numbers if they want it. Cambridge ventures in the lane and is fouled by Alston. I don't think it counts.
Well, they're talking about it. I sure hope that is not counted. In the NBA, it was more than likely going to be called as a continuation, but great job on press break the previous opportunity from Nevada. You break the press, always look ahead, and if there's an opportunity, take advantage. Trey Coleman doing just that.
The way they're playing, and we said it in the first half, the way they're playing, they could win this tournament.
You would not get me to disagree with that comment, because the way they played to beat a really good Colorado State team to finish the regular season, the way they played today has been impressive. Anytime you have guards playing as well as Cambridge and Sherfield in March, you've got opportunities to win basketball games.
Not done yet. Ray J. Dennis with the 3. And a 7-point lead for Nevada with 1:06 left, and a lot of strange things have happened with bigger leads in March. If you haven't seen Desmond Cambridge play, today has been a revelation, hasn't it?
Well, a transfer from Brown. He sat out last year working on his game, working on his body, preparing for moments like this. Play in the Mountain West Conference tournament, and he has made the most of it. 31 points, 4 of 8 from beyond the 3-point line. All of those threes in the first half. He's just a very good scorer. Can score in so many different ways. You team him up with Grant Sherfield. I mean, this is a backcourt. If by chance they win, which it looks like they will today, they're going to give San Diego State a lot of problems and a lot of thought today, as San Diego State would be working on their game plan.
Nevada, and I know we're not there yet, Nevada played 2 at San Diego State, lost them both, but they were absolute nail biters. A 5-point loss and a 2-point loss. This obviously a neutral floor, although this is kind of the second home for San Diego State. They play so well on this floor, whether they're playing UNLV or they're playing in the Mountain West tournament. 1:06 to go. Sherfield fouled Dennis with the reach. Sherfield gets to the line.
In press break situations, and you know they're going to foul, you need to have guys like Sherfield who can get open, that want the ball, and then have the ability to knock down free throws. A lot of times you'll see players shy away from the moment when it's tight and you know they're going to get fouled. Maybe because they're not comfortable with the ball in their hand or they're not comfortable going to the free throw line. Sherfield definitely is comfortable at the line in these situations.
Lead is 9. Alston in traffic. Himes trailing with the foul. And Himes is fouled out. And for Derek Alston Jr., it's been an incredible ride. And I know the story's been told a bazillion times that I was a walk-on, he was undersized. And the player development by Alston from that time as a redshirt, the walk-on, and to where he is now, to where NBA teams are coming to watch. Really remarkable. Seven-point game again. It's a stolen there. Dennis turned down a shot, takes the three, misses it, tipped out. Dutrieve airballs it. Acott throws it away. Broncos had their opportunities. They go right after Foster, who hasn't shot a lot of free throws this season.
Foster's yet to score in the game today, but he missed the first 15 games of the season with a shoulder surgery, but he has been in that starting lineup. He does so many of the little things that don't show up on a box score, understands spacing, is a good decision maker with the ball. There's a bright future for him in Reno.
It's not done yet. Just the 9th and the 10th free throws he's shot all year. Broncos hunting a three. Dennis, and doesn't drop. Alston keeps it alive and tips it up and in. Boise State has just the one timeout left.
Boise State, quick gamble in the passing lanes for a steal and then foul. If you're Nevada, come to the basketball, secure it, expect pressure and a foul.
Foster can run the baseline, got to get it in. That is 5. That's a turnover. And Boise State has life, down 6. 24 seconds left. And the Broncos are going to use their last timeout. Steve Alford looked like a minute ago that Nevada had this one in hand.
It did look as if Nevada had it in hand. Boise State turns up the pressure, gets a couple extra opportunities on the offensive glass. Steve Alford asking official David Hall, was that a true 5-second count?
It was.
I would agree with you, it was. Great pressure, denial from Boise State. Now it's just a matter of, can Boise State get a quick bucket here? 2 or 3. I think you take the first available shot that is good and hopefully open. Get the first shot, hopefully you knock it down, and then you go for a quick denial, gamble in the passing lane. If you don't get it, steal.
But no timeouts to maneuver here if you do hit the shot. Dutrieve, Shaver off a screen. Oh, Acott lost it. Nevada has the ball, and Dennis has to foul Sherfield. And with 17 seconds left, another opportunity for the Broncos slips away.
That was right in Acott's hands. He'd love to have a second chance to get that one back.
Sherfield could pretty much put this one away.
All right, we got one.
7-point game. Dutrieve to Shaver, launches a three, missed it. Cambridge has the rebound. And the Nevada Wolfpack, the 5 seed, has beaten the 4 seed Boise State for the 3rd time this year. And this one really, really hurts for the Broncos. 89-82. They will face the 1 seed San Diego State in the first semifinal tomorrow night on CBS Sports Network. Jerry Palm, right this instant, has moved Boise State to the last team in. That is hanging on by a thread. They've lost 4 in a row. Here are the brackets. Great games tonight. Stick around with us tonight for Utah State and UNLV, Colorado State and Fresno State. 2 more bubble teams hoping to add to their resume. Right now, the hottest team, it feels like, in this conference, the Wolfpack of Nevada. A squeaker in the first one. San Diego State avoided an upset. In the second, Nevada keeps charging and takes down Boise State. For Dan Dickow, our entire CBS Sports crew, I'm Rich Waltz. This is a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Come back tonight for more quarterfinals. After the break, it's time to shine. So long from Vegas.